What is up, people of the internet? I am Ryan. I live in Cambodia and I make videos to tell you all about it. I'm currently on my way to Phnom Penh Central Post Office. I've got a P.O. box there. I'm going to pick up a mystery package to see what it is. Cross your fingers that it's not Anthrax. Here's the address if you want to send me something. This could be a product that you sell, a sample of your art, a screwdriver, I don't know. And if you have any questions you want answered, you can ask them in the comments below. All that out of the way, let's get to our topic. We're talking banking in Cambodia. Let's start with the requirements to open an account as a foreigner. Do you even qualify with that greasy forehead of yours? Luckily, Cambodian banks don't care if you have a greasy forehead. No, what they want, and this might vary slightly from bank to bank, is for you to be at least 18 years old. You'll need your original and valid passport with a valid visa in it. Some banks require you to have a Cambodian phone number, and you'll need a document that proves your residential status. So what they're looking for here is proof that you are committed to stay in Cambodia for at least 6 months out of the year. It could be that you've already stayed for 6 months. It could be that you are planning to stay for 6 months. So to prove this, you can use your visa if you've already spent a total of 182 days in the past 12-month period in Cambodia. You can also show a house rental contract that shows that you've agreed to a 6-month or more lease. Or if you have a job, you can show an employment contract. But do note that they might require it to show that you intend to work for a minimum of 6 months. Finally, if you have opened your own business, you can show a business license. So are you eligible? Should we pick out a bank now? There are a lot of banks in Cambodia. The most popular one for foreigners is ABA Bank, which is actually owned by the National Bank of Canada. Shout out Canada, eh? Just to be clear, this is not the Bank of Canada, which is Canada's central bank. This is a publicly owned company called the National Bank of Canada. I think they're the 6th largest bank in Canada right now. ABA is Cambodia's largest commercial bank by assets, deposits, and loans. I think they had a huge growth after they started focusing on the digital side of banking. They built a really great app, and I think their biggest move was in 2018 when they introduced QR code payments. They went all over Cambodia setting people up with free bank accounts and showing them how the QR payment system works. If you don't know, instead of paying cash, you scan a QR code with the ABA app and then you put in the price you want to pay and it's sent instantly. It's been very popular in Asia for a long time now, but ABA was the first to bring it to Cambodia. But then in 2022, the National Bank of Cambodia said,
"We can't have all the banks setting up QR codes in every shop, so let's create a system so we only need one QR code and it will work with any banking app."
So they created the KHQR system, basically one QR code to rule them all. So now you don't have to open an ABA bank just so you can pay via QR code. Pretty much all major banks have an app that allows you to pay via the KHQR system. Still, ABA's app is generally considered the best, but there are so many things to consider when choosing a bank. Will you be transferring money from an account in your home country to your Cambodian bank account? A lot of people squirt their little money in a bit at a time into Cambodia. Maybe do a bank transfer, maybe a wire transfer, I don't know, probably something with a lot of fees. I can't calculate the best way for you to do that because I don't know what your home country bank is up to, but I can say that the Foreign Trade Bank of Cambodia has this offer on right now. It's good until May 24th. Lots of currencies are applicable. Could be good. Check it out. Let me know. I've seen a few deals like this with banks in Cambodia, so have a look around if this is a major concern for you. There are a lot of little deals that Cambodian banks offer, so when you're choosing what bank you want to go with, check out the promotions section of the bank's website, and maybe you'll find something that tickles your little linguinal region. Some people choose a bank like Maybank here in Cambodia. Maybank is Malaysian owned, but they have a large international presence with banks in around 20 countries. I think this international presence helps people feel more secure. They know that Maybank adheres to international standards when it comes to security. And I can attest to this. We have an ABA account and a Maybank account. And with the ABA account, we had a fraudulent charge, a charge that we didn't make. It was pending, so we immediately contacted ABA, and they said that they had to let the charge go through before they could do anything about it. Didn't make sense to me, but that's what they did. They canceled the card I had used, and it took like a month for me to get that money back. I had to call and bug them about it a couple times. It was a pain. A similar thing happened with our Maybank account, and they immediately called us and asked us if we had made the charge. When we said no, they stopped the charge from going through. Overall, it was way less of a hassle for us than the ABA fraudulent charge. So we find that Maybank is stricter with their security, which is mostly good, but we also have had problems where they froze the card because we were using it in Thailand or somewhere. We managed to resolve this problem. If I remember correctly, we just had to adjust the withdrawal amount that they allow in foreign countries. Because Sarah's work pays her via a Maybank account, we know a lot of people that have an account with them, And because everyone loves the ABA app, we also know a lot of people that have an ABA account. And from what I hear and from what's happened to us, there are way more fraudulent charges happening with ABA accounts than with Maybank accounts. On the topic of security, I should mention that in Cambodia, no banks have a deposit insurance scheme. So this means if a bank fails, there is no automatic reimbursement of deposits. You'll have to file a proof of claim, and there's a chance that you could lose all your money. Just a few months ago, in October 2025, the Prince Holding Group was hit with a bunch of US and UK sanctions after it was allegedly involved in an online fraud scheme. You may have heard about scam centers in Cambodia. It's believed that Prince was heavily involved with these. Prince operates a number of businesses here in Cambodia, including Prince Bank, which was placed under liquidation last month. Customers of Prince Bank were rightfully worried. There were reports of frozen accounts, daily withdrawal limits of $500, and an inability to access funds. To this day, I don't think everyone has gotten all their money back, but the National Bank of Cambodia is saying that they eventually will. Choose your bank wisely, my friends. Another thing you might want to consider is how many branches the bank has. This is especially important if you're going to live outside one of the major cities. You don't want to have to take a bus into Phnom Penh to do some banking. A bank like ABA has a ton of branches all across Cambodia, as does ACLEDA. Actually, I think they have the most overall with around 265 branches in Cambodia. They've also won awards for their security, so maybe ACLEDA is a good option. I don't know. I've never used them. Another thing to consider is interest rates. There is money to be made in Cambodian banks, more money than your home country account is offering you, I bet. Let's take a look at some fixed deposit accounts, sometimes called term deposit accounts, for various banks in Cambodia. A fixed deposit account is an account where you deposit a chunk of money and they guarantee you a certain interest rate, a much higher interest rate than what you'd get with a normal account, but you have to leave the money in the account for an agreed period of time. Different banks have different rules. Some will pay you the interest every month, others make you wait until the full time period is up. Some require a minimum deposit of $50, while others say a minimum of $1,000. And of course the rates change depending on all these factors. Also, if you open a KHR account, an account in Khmer Riel, you'll get a better rate than a US dollar account, sometimes twice as high, as we'll see in a second. Now, I think this is because 1, Cambodia wants to promote the use of their official currency, and 2, USD is more trusted worldwide, and KHR has a higher risk for devaluation or inflation. One last note, you will be taxed on the interest made from any bank account in Cambodia at a rate of 6%. Okay, here are some of the fixed deposit account rates that I've found. All these are for a 1-year term where you don't get paid until the term is up. Now mind you, you can take your money back early if you need it, but some might have a penalty or they'll just lower the rate to the normal savings account rate, so you just won't get that big rate that you signed up for originally. The very best rates I found are with Panda Commercial Bank. They're offering a whopping 8% for USD and 9% for Cambodian Riel. Whew, that is a lot. Now, I'm very hesitant to recommend this bank, though. Firstly, it's the whole too good to be true factor. These rates are double what other banks are offering. I don't know much about this Panda Bank. I think they cater to the Chinese in Cambodia. They just have 4 branches in the country. I think it's a bit of a risk. I don't know. I'm scared of them. Stay away from me. Stop tempting me with your juicy rates, Panda Bank. PRASAC Bank. This bank has roots in Korea. They're relatively new. The bank started in 2024, but before that they were in the microfinance business here in Cambodia. So I think I need to do a little aside here about microfinancing. It's a major problem in Cambodia. You can watch this video if you want to learn more, but a lot of banks have been accused of predatory lending practices. They go after the uber poor and they put immense pressure on people to repay the loan. There are a lot of horror stories, bank workers barging into homes and making threats. If this is a red flag for you, then I recommend you do some of your own research, because so many banks in Cambodia have been accused of this, including the next one on our list and the one after that. I'm not going to bring it up anymore because I'll just sound like a broken record. But if this is something that matters to you, then do your research. It's as simple as a Google search. Woori Bank, pretty great name for a bank. This bank is also Korean owned. They're actually one of the biggest banks in South Korea, but they also operate in 23 other countries. They've been around for a long time in Korea, like over 100 years, but they just entered the Cambodian market in 2022. ACLEDA, this is the bank with the most branches. They've been around for over 25 years. I think they're a pretty safe option and their rates are pretty good as well. FTB Bank, or Foreign Trade Bank. So this is the bank that's offering the free transfers from overseas. They're one of the oldest banks in Cambodia. I believe they're the only bank on our list that's not managed by the National Bank of Cambodia. They're the first bank to operate as a separate legal entity in Cambodia. I don't know what that means exactly in regards to whether that makes them a good choice or not. So I don't know. Do with that info as you please. ABA Bank, we actually had a fixed deposit account with them a year and a bit ago. It just ended and we made out pretty well. I think when we signed up for it, the rate was around 4%, but as of this year, the rates have dropped a lot, so probably not the best for the fixed deposit account. Maybank Cambodia, it's interesting to me that Maybank's rate for Khmer Riel is so much higher than their US dollar one. On the other hand, Woori Bank offers the same rate for a USD account and a KHR account. Now, Woori Bank did have some problems last year. I heard rumors. I'm not going to repeat them because I don't know if they're true. But allegedly, their systems did go down last year because they had to fix a mistake that was made internally. BRED Bank is another popular bank in Cambodia. They're the first and only European Union bank. They're owned by a French company. However, they aren't posting their fixed term rates on their website, so I can't really include them here. They want my info before they give me the numbers. So you're not going to get those numbers because I'm not going to give them my info. Canadia Bank. Canadia has been around since 1991. They have 69 branches in the country. I have heard reports that people have taken USD out of their machines and the notes were counterfeit. People reported a slow process of getting this money back. Now, I haven't heard anything about that in a while, so hopefully they have that problem fixed now, but that's something to note, I suppose. And it also takes us to another point. My bank accounts are in USD. However, if I'm taking money out of the ATM, I always take Khmer Riel out instead of USD. There are way more counterfeit USD notes in Cambodia than Khmer Riel notes. Also, merchants are very critical of the condition that the notes are in. If there's a small tear in your USD note, they won't accept it. If there's a stain on it, they won't accept it. Meanwhile, a chewed up and spit out real note has never been a problem. Another thing that a lot of expats jump on is a premium credit card that offers perks. I think the main perk that people are excited about is the access to airport lounges. Since a lot of expats travel a lot, this is a nice bonus for them. ABA has one of these cards. They charge $150 per year for it. It can get you into airport VIP lounges 8 times in a year in 46 airports around the world. Maybank also has one. They offer 6 uses of airport lounges. They also offer treat points, whatever that is. I'm not a dog. I don't need treats. Their card costs $200 per year, but that fee is waived if you spend $15,000 per year on the credit card. BRED Bank also has one, and they offer 12 visits to VIP airport lounges. The annual fee for it is $200, but if you spend $8,000 a year, that fee is reduced by half. If you spend $16,000, the fee is waived. Lastly, I want to talk about premium savings accounts that are available in Cambodia. A lot of banks have these. Sometimes they just require you to have a certain amount of money in the account, and they are totally free. And they offer benefits like free stays at luxury hotels. For example, with BRED Bank, you can be a Platinum Plus member if you have a minimum balance of 50,000 USD, and that comes with airport lounge benefits and a 2-night stay at the Sofitel or 2 nights at the Eden Beach Resort on Koh Rong San Loam. There are a bunch of hotel options to choose from. I think this is a one-time gift, but I'm not 100% sure. It could be a yearly thing. And the monthly interest rate for this account, I believe, is 0.8%. My Canadian bank's premium savings account is about 0.45%, so 0.8%, it's pretty good, I'd say. And it makes you think, should I bring all my money into Cambodia and take advantage of all the good rates and all the perks? I didn't say to do that. Who told you to do that? Are you taking advice from a hipster Skeletor YouTuber? Banking in Cambodia is actually pretty easy compared to most foreign countries, so do the legwork, guys. You never know what you're going to find that suits your particular needs. For example, ACLEDA has an Islamic deposit account, which offers profit sharing instead of interest. Oh, and they have a monk account for monks. I mean, come on, let's go. So go into the banks and talk to them, read the paperwork they provided to you in English. All the banks have websites in English too. It's not hard. Don't just watch this video and expect to have all the answers. Do your own research, but also don't forget to subscribe. And on that note, we are at the post office. Let's see if we got a package. Nice. Hello. We're about to slice this package open. So a big thank you already to Cleebus and Lee. Cleebus and Lee. Cleebus sounds like a bit of a redneck name, to be honest with you.
Hey, what's going on this side?
All right, we got a note. We got packing peanuts. Hello, Ryan. My husband and I are subscribers of your channel. We live in Tallahassee, Florida. We're sending you honey from our bees. Cool. A magnet/bottle opener from the Dominican Republic. Presidente is the most famous beer there, and chocolate sold in this area. I hope the chocolate didn't melt in transit. Share the chocolates with Sarah. Don't be greedy. God damn it. Fine. Take care, comb your hair, and keep making videos. C and J. Awesome. Let's have a look-see. Good packing job, guys. Ooh. Pure Florida honey, raw and unfiltered. Love this little cup, this thing that it came in. I can reuse that once the honey's gone. I bet you this honey is delicious too. Ooh, ho, 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 ho. That's amazing. I'm gonna put that on my oatmeal. That's good. What we got here? Chocolates. Tortina minis. Ooh, I don't think I've had these, but they're hazelnut. I love hazelnut. And a bottle opener. Presidente Light. Oh, it's magnetic too. So we actually collect magnets from whenever we travel. We buy a magnet, and we always have one that's a bottle opener, but the bottle openers always eventually break. You know, you lose your little piece in here and they just don't work quite right. And right now we're in between magnets that are also bottle openers. So this is amazing. This is perfect. We'll stick that on the fridge and this will be our official bottle opener now. I like that there's liquid in it. I wonder what that liquid is. The chocolate has melted a slight bit. I was on holidays, so I didn't check that P.O. box for a while. So it's probably sitting in there for a little bit, but bottoms up. That's so good. Yeah, this is a video people want to watch. Me licking chocolate off a package. I'm gonna put my bottle opener on my fridge. Oh yeah, that's a beauty. While I'm washing and drying my hands here, I will tell you guys that if you want to send me a package, you can send it to the address you see on the screen. If you have any questions regarding Cambodia, traveling, or living here, ask them in the comments below, and maybe your question will be featured on an episode of P.O. Box Cambodia. And that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed that, hope you learned a little bit, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Take care, comb your hair, and a big thank you to C and J. Sarah left and said, "Whatever's in that package, you gotta share with me." I was like, "No, I don't," but literally it says in their note, I have to share with them, so. All right.
Don't get blinded by the media. I'd rather be myself. Take flight, got a speedy on speed dial. And meanwhile, my dream right beside me with a smile. She like Destiny Child.